Glenn Parker, High Vibration Foundation. Thank you very much for joining me. Today I wanted to talk about personal experiences as well, but getting into the vortex, letting go of anger, and particularly forgetting that you're an immortal being. And the first two, they're all synergistic to each other, so let me explain. When you're angry, and you haven't let things go, you haven't changed energetically, so you're not in the vortex, you can't get in to the eddy of the parallel realities that are commensurate for what you want. It's commensurate for what you're viewing right now, and if you're reacting to it, then it's a challenge that you put there for yourself in agreement with whatever being, thing, instance that's there to be able to be of service to you. And once it's no longer of service to you, it energetically won't keep showing up over and over again. Now it will show up, it will echo a few times here and there, just to serve as a reminder and a challenge that you have changed. And if you haven't, you're going to go, ee, and wow, that thing is here again. And that means you haven't changed and it hasn't served its purpose, and it's going to keep showing up. So how do we get rid of that? Well, for me personally, remembering that I'm an immortal being in a timeless reality that knows everything that I need to know in the moment is very helpful. And getting into the vortex, Abraham materials, or Abraham-Hicks, where you're actually looking for better feeling thoughts, being more appreciative to whatever circumstances you can be appreciative to, and then just watch everything change around you. And really it's taking emphasis off the things that are pissing you off, whether that be an abundance of lack of money. I'm not saying abundant, it is an abundance of lack of money. You're having an abundance of lack of fill in the blank. And you're repeating it because you are constantly acknowledging it and having strong emotion around it. And law of attraction is saying, oh, that's what you want, that's what you want, that's what you want. And you keep getting it, and you get into that eddy, and those are the parallel realities that you're going to experience over and over and over and over and over again. So the idea is to break those habits. And now NLP and many other types of sciences, neuro-linguistic sciences, say these same types of things. You need to find a way to de-patternize yourself, to take yourself out of habit. And Abraham gives you tons of ways to do that. Bashar gives you tons of ways to do that. Everybody gives you tons of ways to do that. It's finding the ways that work best for you. And usually energetically with me, when I'm working with clients, I find through questions and just feeling that person's energy, what ways might work best for that person if they're willing to do them. And generally I have those types of conversations. So what can you do to be a little lighter, to be a little less angry, pissed off at maybe circumstance, people, places, or things that might be showing up over and over again? Appreciation is probably the #1 thing. It's the closest vibration besides unconditional love that you truly are. So appreciate that you're recognizing where you are. Appreciate that you're watching my material right now. Appreciate the things that you can in your life, that that you have transportation, for instance, or that you have loving parents, or that you have this fine lover that you just came across, or that you found your favorite candy in the store that you haven't seen in 20 years. Any number of things to be happy about. And the more that you can find ways and things to be happy about, the more ways and things that will show up in your life that you can be happy about. So it is all synergistic. Pissed off all the time, more things are going to come and piss you off. Happy as much as possible, more things are going to show up to make you happy. It's funny how that works now, isn't it? So, and it's demonstrating that to yourself, and it's doing some ego negotiation, because when you're changing yourself and you're changing your perspectives and your points of view, the ego wants to know that you're safe. And if you're saying, oh, I'm going to go into light and I'm going to do all these wonderful things and I don't need to worry about this, money, and this and that and the other, well, the ego's like, whoa, that's just crazy talk. And we're not having any of that. And it will do things that you're not able to recognize, to put stumbling blocks in your way, to put you back into the same pattern over and over again. So the ego is like a 7-year-old child, for instance, And if you take a 7-year-old child candy away from them, are they rational? Are they happy? Do they seem insane? Yes to all those questions. So if you say, I'm going to go do this and this and this and this, you're taking things away from the ego that it knows as a pattern is working for you. It may be pissing you off, it may be bringing you things that negative synchronicity, but it's something that it knows that it's working at this point in time, and that is keeping you safe predominantly. So you need to negotiate with it. And have these conversations with the ego and talk to you like you're talking to a 7-year-old child. And it's a 7-year-old child that's all about business. The ego wants to know that you're going to give it a little something back. So if you're saying, hey, if you can give me 10%, let me play with 10%, you keep the 90%, and you keep me safe and make sure everything's all good, and just give me 10%, and if I can demonstrate to you that we're getting cool things and money is coming, blah, 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 can we meet in the middle, and maybe I can get a little bit more? Well, okay, I'll give you 10%. And, you can sit and have a conversation with yourself in that context. I would probably suggest doing it alone. Just for energetics and, family, friends, and company, co-workers and whatnot might not quite appreciate it as much as you would understand what you're doing. So, ego negotiation. Bashar has ego negotiation. Wayne Dyer has ego negotiation. Gary Renard has ego negotiation. Abraham-Hicks has some things similar to that. I haven't seen anything specific. It's more, everything is ego negotiation as far as Abraham-Hicks. It's always getting into the vortex. It's always being appreciative. It's never addressing the ego directly that I've seen. But it's whatever energetically works for you. So whatever ego negotiation you can do, if you have something that you like. I've also heard and have tried personally that crossing your arm and your legs while you're ingesting new information energetically and physically, like if you're watching Abraham-Hicks, or if you're watching Bashar, or if you're watching any kind of ego negotiation or any type of material like the holotrope experience or sacred circuitry or any of that, the crossing your arms and your legs opens you up energetically and opens you up mentally. I don't know if it has to do with the particular activating system or exactly how it works, but I've tried it and I've been using it from time to time, especially when I'm doing sacred circuitry. And when I'm doing it, sounds like, oh yeah, give me some sacred circuitry. Well, it's kind of like that sometimes, because I've had a sense of a much larger set of unconditional love during sacred circuitry, and I do feel a lot calmer, and I'm speaking slower and more concisely. So when you're doing these types of exercises, crossing your arm and legs, it's whatever you can do to be comfortable as well. So when you're watching these, and be in a more sedate and relaxed state, and do them at a time that there isn't great urgency, and that you can do it, by yourself or with a loved one or lover, so that you can actually have some time to do it in as most relaxed state as possible. But really try to just do them before the end of the day. And personally, I like to do them before bedtime. Not absolutely necessary. I've been doing sacred circuitry as the first thing in the day before anything else, and to see if that can set a better tone and synchronicity to the day, and staying heavily on number 8 for flow, for synchronicity. And that seems to be working pretty well. Much better things, more clients coming, tons of conversations, lots of interesting things happening. So yeah, that's overall good. So when you're angry, you're not in the vortex, and it's something that psychologically is pissing you off. It's something energetically that you haven't let go. So if it's whether through EFT, ego negotiation, any of these things that you can do to energetically realign yourself, seek out what feels best. And if you have any questions, leave comments here, send me a message. It's a message. It's all good. So I'm thinking, feeling to see if there's anything else to share. Nothing else is really coming through. Yay, everything's shared. So, sporting a new do or lack thereof. It's nice. It's like I was 108, 111 out today. So yeah, this is really nice and low maintenance. So, as when I migrate back to a different type of climate, that might change. but for now it actually serves its purpose. So thank you very much for watching. Glenn Parker, High Vibration Foundation. I would make a note that I do feel a lot more heart-centered by doing the sacred circuitry, holotrope experience, and then the transformative shifting exercise from Bashar. So yeah, I would suggest those in tandem if you do have the time, and allow yourself the time to do that. You make time in your greater consciousness, so you have all the time that you need to do whatever you need to do. So let go of anger, forgetting that you're an immortal being, because you know when you are angry, you are forgetting that that person is there as a reflection. You put them there, and that you had an agreement with that person, and that what they're doing it for you, to be able to have you realize something and draw a conclusion and go, wow, I finally realized that. Thank you very much for that gift. So every time you're pissed off, it's a gift. You just haven't unwrapped it yet, and you haven't realized that it's a gift. So remember that you're immortal. Remember these things are gifts. Treat them as such. Be appreciative that you are recognizing these things. Be appreciative that you're watching this video, and that will put you much more into the state to be able to realize these things. Again, Glenn Parker, High Vibration Foundation. Like, subscribe, and share. Always tons of stuff going on down there below. In the description, there's I'm just about to do a whole revamp that will have some links for some other information that's really cool. And like, subscribe, and share. Thank you very much.